handle a little biology to start off with. It's not my area of expertise, but it was something I learned years ago from Don Clifton, who started SRI in Lincoln, now Gallup. But I was being trained in one of their systems, and he talked about the reticular activating system. All of you are familiar with your reticular activating system? It's important. It's this clump of nerves right at the base of your brain, and what it does is it decides what information is going to get to your brain. It's very important because it sorts out all this data and lets in some. So like right now, you might be aware the fans got turned on, or the lights, or the hum, or somebody coughing, or the squeaking of the fuse, or there's lots of things going on in this room, and hopefully you're just paying attention to me and nothing else. You're tuning all of that out. And that's your reticular activating system that's doing that. It allows us to function as human beings. Because otherwise we'd just be overwhelmed with too much stimulus, and we wouldn't be able to choose what's most important. And some of the things it does like, have you noticed that when you buy a certain vehicle, all of a sudden you notice all the other people who have the same car or pickup that you have. And you think, oh my gosh, now everybody's driving my same car. And you never saw them before until you bought that car. That's your reticular activating system at work. Or you're at a party and you hear your name mentioned way over on the other side of the room. There's a lot of noise in the room, but you hear your name and your ears perk up and you think, what are they talking about me over there? I heard them say my name. That's your reticular activating system. It's how moms can hear their child's cry in the midst of a room of lots of children. They know when it's theirs. They also know when because my siblings would do this when their children were younger, there'd be all kinds of chaos in the basement and screaming, and they knew exactly when to intervene and when not. I'd say, oh, it sounds like somebody's hurt. No, they're not. But then a little bit later, zoom, down they'd go. And think, okay, somehow their reticular activating center knew just exactly that. It's also like when you're in a hurry and you notice you get stuck at every red light. You really haven't, but your reticular activating center is letting you know that you were in a hurry and that was important to you. We really do program that piece of us so that it tells us what we need to know. It can be trained. The reason why I bring all that up is because of what Jesus is teaching us today about treasures, about what is most important. He says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be. I think most of the time we tend to invert that and say, where my heart is, there my treasure will be. No, he's telling us that whatever we are saying is most important to us, that's where our heart will follow that. That's where our love goes. Whatever we have set up as most important, that we will notice. that we will spend time with. And then our heart goes there. But we make that choice first. Jesus tells us something incredibly beautiful and wonderful at the beginning of today's gospel. Absolutely amazing. But it fits in with everything else he's teaching. He says, if you caught it, do not live in fear, little flock. It has pleased the Father to give you the kingdom. It's yours. It's a free gift from God. You are his children, and he wants you to have the kingdom. It's yours. And he's very happy, as any good parent, to give you something wonderful. It pleases him to give you the kingdom. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to worry, but do not live in fear. Don't worry, little flock. It's yours. But then he goes on to say things because he knows our hearts get divided. So don't worry about all the stuff. Don't worry about the things of this earth. Don't worry about that. Get rid of it. You already have the kingdom. You need to tell your reticular activating system that that's your treasure, that's what's important to you. If we don't program it, you miss it. Like I can talk to lots of people who say, I don't know where you guys find the presence of God. I've never seen the presence of God anywhere. And I think that's because your reticular activating system is not set up to notice it. You missed it. It's right there. But when people get tuned in to saying God is important and what God is doing is important and learning where God is present, God's everywhere. And so the next person says, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. I can't even begin to tell you about my day because God was so present in every part of it. Right. Because their reticular activating system is tuned in to that treasure, to that thing that is important to them. So we need to work on that. We don't have to work to get the kingdom. It's already yours. It's been given to you. The problem is we can't see it. It's like somebody gave you a great big new gift and parked it in your driveway, and you can't see it sitting there. It's yours. The kingdom of God is yours. Don't worry about it. God delights to give it to you. Now, you might miss it. That's the only worry, because you're not paying any attention. But you don't have to worry about getting it. Jesus also gives us another beautiful image in today's gospel. And that is you and I who are working for the kingdom, who are trying to tell others about it. When we get to heaven, Jesus is going to put on an apron and serve you at the banquet table. And then you might say, Jesus, no, let me do it. No, this is what he wants to do. He sits you at table and proceeds to wait on you. Beautiful imagery. It may be hard for us to imagine that the God of the universe serves you. But that's what Jesus tells us over and over and over and over again. We just can't hear it because our system is set up to earn things. to be good enough, to strive to win. Jesus doesn't play by that system. It's yours. It pleases him to give it to you.